One person is dead after an accident involving a drunk driver. Plus, a man is accused of exposing himself to people, including a child, on a metro train. And a Houston area bayou is filled with trash and debris. What is being done to clean it up?
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Today.
Good morning at 6 a.m. Saturday, July 11th. I'm Emani Payne. Thank you for joining me. New this morning, a deadly accident involving a suspected drunk driver happened overnight. Channel 2's Gianna Caserta is live in her 59 in Fountain View with the details. Gianna. He's accused of exposing himself to people on a metro train, including a child. 48-year-old Michael LeBlanc has a lengthy criminal history, including aggravated assault on a police officer and burglary. Channel 2's Kathy Hernandez has the latest details.
People are shocked to hear 48-year-old Michael Keith LeBlanc allegedly exposed himself to people, including a child, on the Metro Rail in downtown Houston.
Disgusting kind of person, and I hate to hear that, someone had to be exposed to that.
Metro Police just released these pictures of LeBlanc. They say he boarded a train at the downtown transit center recently and showed his private parts to several riders. They say he got off at the U of H downtown station, where he then exposed himself again to a minor.
This poor child now, by no fault of their own, is exposed to something like that. It's very disturbing.
An arrest warrant has been issued for an HISD bus driver accused of inappropriate conduct with a student. The district says after a thorough investigation, HISD police presented their findings to the DA's office. That driver has since been fired. The district is not releasing his name at this time. HISD released this statement saying, quote, "We take situations such as these very seriously, as the safety of our students is always our top priority." And two men caught on camera smashing their way into a gas station in southwest Houston with the clerk inside. It happened early Thursday morning at the Chevron gas station at the 6700 block of the West Sam Houston Tollway in Bel Air Boulevard. We're told the clerk was inside restocking shelves when the robbers smashed through the door and used a crowbar to pry open the register to steal cash. Nobody was hurt. A Houston area bayou is looking more like a landfill. It's so contaminated with trash and debris you can barely see the water. We were tipped off by a Channel 2 viewer who saw the mess in Hunting Bayou near Federal Road in Galena Park. From plastic bottles to pieces of wood, it's all piled up and barely moving downstream. Hunting Bayou feeds into Buffalo Bayou and eventually empties into the Gulf. We've alerted the city of Galena Park about the situation. Hopkins is getting ready to take on a bigger role for the Texans. Coming up, a recap in sports. Plus, a pair of canoeists is counting their lucky stars after they were rescued from the Brazos River. Well, two canoeists have quite the water adventure story to share after firefighters had to rescue them from the Brazos River near Sugarland Memorial Park. But those firefighters got into some trouble of their own. Sky 2 was over the scene when the rescuers had to paddle themselves to shore after having engine trouble. The stranded men ate some lunch before getting help. Then one of the canoeists could be seen snapping selfies as they were rescued. Channel 2 got a hold of this Snapchat that one of the guys took while they were stuck. Both canoeists are okay. The city of Houston is asking FEMA for grant money to help offset the cost for people affected by the historic floods to elevate their homes as part of their repairs. Houston's Flood Plan Management Office will hold an informational meeting Monday at the Jewish Community Center in Maryland. Officials will discuss the requirements and process on how to get approved for the funds. This meeting will start at 6:30 Monday night. Well, fans lined the streets of New York. Coming up, thousands came out to celebrate the World Cup champs. And we'll get a recap in sports. Tomorrow on Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall, a city of Houston financial crisis may be in works. Former Congressman Chris Bell is running for mayor and says his plan is to take action right away.
I think it's incumbent upon the mayor to immediately start sitting down with members of the state legislature and really pushing forth the importance of this issue so that they will be on board as well in recognizing that the current path isn't sustainable.
Chris Bell and Marty McVeigh on Houston Newsmakers tomorrow morning at 10. The Rose is hosting its second annual night at the theater. Coming up, we have a guest in studio to tell us all about an upcoming event for a great cause. Plus, the Astros lose against the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll have a look at sports when we come back.
You're watching Channel 2, Houston's home for news.
Good morning, I'm Emani Payne. It's 6 a.m. Thanks for joining me. New this morning, an accident involving a suspected drunk driver ends with one person dead. Channel 2's Gianna Caserta has the latest details from the accident near 59 in Fountain View.
Officers are investigating a fatal crash that happened around 12:30 this morning under this bridge here at 59 and Fountain View. Officers say a car driven by a man suspected of DWI was traveling east on the service road of 59 when his car T-boned another car traveling north on Fountain View. Police say the second car spun around and hit a cement support column under the overpass. A passenger in that vehicle was pronounced dead at the scene.
Also new this morning, a wild police chase from northeast Houston to the northwest side lands a man behind bars. It began around 2:30 this morning on 59 near Aldine Bender. Police say they tried to pull over a driver of a pickup truck for traffic violations, but the driver wouldn't stop. Eventually, cops spiked his tires. Police were able to catch him on Stubner Airline Drive near FM 2920. No one was hurt. Making news around the nation this morning, a former cancer doctor will spend the next 45 years in prison for giving hundreds of patients unnecessary chemotherapy treatments and defrauding insurance companies out of millions of dollars. Dr. Farid Fata from Detroit pleaded guilty last fall to fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy. In all, 553 patients were victimized, along with insurance companies that paid out at least $17 million. Prosecutors had sought a 175-year prison sentence, but attorneys asked for 25 years. A restaurant got raided in the middle of the day while it was open for business. Investigators were there as part of a child porn investigation. It happened at a restaurant northeast of Houston in Cleveland, Liberty County on South Line and South Roosevelt. Channel 2's Samantha Patashkin is reporting from the Chef's House restaurant, speaking to people about what happened.
The Chef's House in Cleveland is a family-owned restaurant with free Wi-Fi and delivery. And now it's also at the center of a child porn investigation.
It's concerning in the fact that, well, obviously, I have children, and that's really close to my house.
Amy Michelle lives across the street. She says on Thursday she saw several police officers.
The investigation is ongoing. We did try reaching out to the owners for comment, but haven't heard back. Well, summer is in full swing. Coming up, we have an expert in studio to tell us some tips on keeping your car in the best condition during the summer heat. Plus, it's the invasion of the frogs. A man says thousands of tiny frogs have been living on his property. What he says they're doing coming up. He's accused of exposing himself to people on a metro train, including a child. 48-year-old Michael LeBlanc has a lengthy criminal history, including aggravated assault on a police officer and burglary. We'll take a look at this. Thousands and thousands of tiny frogs are living in a man's yard in southern Indiana. The homeowner spotted the creatures Wednesday morning. He says the frogs are crossing a gravel road and burying themselves in his yard. So far, they haven't invaded his home, and since they're not bothering him too much, he doesn't plan to do anything to get rid of them. And we're going to travel back in time. Coming up, we have the editor-in-chief of Houstonians magazine to show us the past 100 years of Houston in pictures. One person is dead after an accident involving a drunk driver. Plus, a man is accused of exposing himself to people, including a child, on a metro train. And a Houston area bayou is filled with trash and debris. What is being done to clean it up?
Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News Today.
Good morning at 6 a.m. Saturday, July 11th. I'm Emani Payne. Thank you for joining me.